And so we come back to crazy shit happening. Crazy fucking, that's what I come home to. America's fucking,
Wet in the bed.
Oh my God. The whole thing is, you know.
Well, I was bummed out at first because I said we were off the air when the Kathy Griffin thing happened.
Sure.
I was like, oh, I wish we'd been on the air when she put out this photo shoot holding, the fake Trump
severed head.
Head, because obviously who would have thought that Kathy Griffin really would be the person that brought all sides together?
Yeah.
Because even people who are against Trump are like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing?
But then it's so funny how people just, everything that happens, people just take the facts, they pile it up on their side, and they try to use it in the next argument.
Mm-hmm.
So after Bill Maher drops an N-bomb on his show, really just riffing a dumb joke. Well, it was tasteless, and it was stupid for him to say that. Whatever, and he felt like he was going to say he was sorry. Like, if you improv the word nigger to a senator...
Yeah.
I get people saying, hey, man, that's a little fucked up. And him going, all right, that's kind of, I'm sorry I said it. Like, all right, it didn't have to be the biggest deal. It could be, look, it's a live show. The guy said Fields. He just took it to the next level and improv, and he said he was trying to be funny. He wasn't trying to be hateful. He wasn't saying it angrily. He wasn't describing a guy angrily. Like, he didn't mean it in an anger.
It's also an important distinction. Number one, it's what we talk about. He was trying to be funny.
Yeah, it was just, he riffed
and
a joke.
it was live TV.
Live TV. The joke was awkward, and he felt bad about it, and maybe HBO came down, whatever, and he goes,
you
hey,
could even
sorry.
see, you could even hear, if you watch the tape, should we listen to Bill Maher saying this thing?
Yeah.
Because if you watch, so Bill Maher is on, he's doing his show, and he's interviewing the senator, and he drops the M-bomb, and it immediately, by Saturday night, was a story, and it's continued on since. That's when his show's on, right? Saturday?
Yeah.
Or Friday? Whatever night he did it, it became a story immediately.
There you go.
And
but CNN won't show it. They'll beep it.
Yeah.
Just go Bill Maher racial slur.
Troy, you did not practice your Googling over the break, did you?
CNN
not
again.
At all.
That's CNN
he went
again.
back to the same link. He went back to the same link.
No, that's two different links.
No, it's not. It's the same one. I saw
I went
it.
to that one and that one.
I saw it.
Okay, you guys are making me nervous.
Well,
there you go, right there.
Right
The
there.
bottom, no. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Here's the racial slur.
It's YouTube. You go to YouTube for videos.
Right there, down.
Okay.
And he's not clicking it.
No, I had to turn the sound on.
Okay.
Hang on.
We've all heard it by now.
Yeah.
Good morning. You're welcome. We'd love to have you work in the fields with us. Work in the fields?
That's part of that.
Senator. I'm a house nigga. No, it's...
See right there.
In that
wait,
instant-
hold on, watch what he says.
Nebraska more.
Why'd you turn the volume off?
I didn't.
Oh, sorry. Because he goes, that's a joke. He said that's a joke.
He knew immediately after
He knew he
said
fucked up.
it.
He knew he
Yeah.
shouldn't have said. But he goes right after that's a joke. Like he did say it was a joke, and the crowd kind of laughed. And he said house nigga. Like it's just it was off the word field. He was trying to up it and say I'm too lazy to work the fields, and that was the only place he could think to go from field to. How am I not a guy who works the field? Like,
Right.
as a person who writes jokes, that's where the progression led in that instant. He improv something. All right, it was a little offensive. You say you're sorry. People, he should be fired. And then the whole black people can say it and white people can't. And then the whole, you don't know what it's like. And he's a racist. Shut the fuck up. The guy is not a racist. He has a history of not being a racist. Everyone knows he's not a racist. He has zero history of, he criticizes Islam. So what?
Right.
He's a public person. He gives his opinion. He makes jokes. He made a joke. It was a little offensive. He said he was sorry. Move on.
Yeah.
Fucking Christ. If you can't see the difference between that and an anger-driven statement where somebody trying to be hateful, you're lying. And then the whole thing is black people can say it, white people. How about somebody tell me what the fucking rules are for the language?
Well...
How about that?
There is a pretty standard rule of white people can't say the N-word. Like
Okay,
that is that's the rule of language.
But black people can say it and white people can't say it.
Correct.
But then when you say that, black people go, what do you want to say the word so bad? No, I just don't want to get fired if I say a word that you say. It's not that I want to say it and get an applause for it. And I really don't have any inclination to say it in a joke. I've done it when it felt necessary. It doesn't feel necessary. But I don't want to get fired and have my career ruined for something that every rapper can say. There's a difference there between.
Not every rapper can say it.
Yeah, most rapper. Right, exactly.
Almost every rapper can say it.
And it's not about wanting to say it. It's just about there's a heavy penalty for it. And if someone else in public life isn't going to suffer that penalty, yeah, that's an issue. And then you could say that's just white people crying. How about this? Black people, you can have the option whether or not the word's allowed. I'll give black people the option. Either everyone can say it or no one can say it. Let black people choose. I don't care. I'm a white guy. I don't need to choose.
Yeah, well,
But fucking enough with the obsession, because it's not just that word. And then it's this word, and then it's that word, and then other people are like, no, well, the word faggot is... And it's like, it's not that you want to say these words.
Every group decides, like, well, if they get a word, I get a word. Every group, like, you know, we have taken a lot of shit through the years.
Right.
So we should each get a word that you can't say. Everybody gets a
Yes.
word, and that's part of the deal.
And it's not about, because then the manipulative thing people say is, you must want to yell these words. No, don't be fucking slippery about it. That's not why.
Right.
It's why should there be a penalty for one person saying it and not another one? Either that or write it down. Write down the rules of the language for everybody. See it in court, black and white. Let's see it written down, and let's see companies sign off on it, and let's see networks sign off on it. See, nobody wants to say what the fucking rules are. That's the problem. It's this kind of vague ambiguity with it. Like, some guys can say it and some guys can't. And then it's like, it's almost like whoever comes after you, if you're popular with one side and they don't come after you, then you're okay. But if someone catches it and it becomes a story, then you're not okay. So it's not like there's a set of rules. Like Carlin's rules, shit, piss, fuck, cunt, cocksucker, motherfucker, and tits, you couldn't say it on TV. 7 words, no citizen could say them on broadcast TV.
FCC
Fine.
legal.
But I'm saying is that was a set of rules that applied to everyone who spoke. And that was fair. Or if it was all white people can never say it and all black people can always say it, put that shit in writing. How about SiriusXM puts that in writing? How about HBO puts that in writing? How about Comedy Central puts that in writing? Put it in writing. If you say this, you'll be fired.
It's not so much saying it. It's if you say this and then there's bad press after it.
That's what it is.
Then you'll be fired. If there's outrage after it and there's enough newspaper articles at the right time targeted to the right people.
Enough. That's the problem people have with it. So it's not this bullshit that people go like, what do you white guys just want to say it? No, dummy, that's not what it is. It's because there is a real vagueness as to who gets penalized, when they get penalized, and what the penalty is, depending on who tweets about it, and how many Twitter retweets it gets, and how much anger it gets on Facebook. Then you're in trouble. So it's a fucking bullshit non-rule up for interpretation depending on what day of the week you say it and whether or not people like your comedy. It's fucking nonsense.
Yeah.
And you can't have your career hinge on that. And then I defended Bill Maher, and then people go, if a conservative had said that, shut up. I've defended conservatives too. I defended the guys from Duck Dynasty. I defended Donald Sterling. Shut the fuck up and politicizing everything. You shouldn't get in trouble for things you say in joke form. Kathy Griffin did was stupid. And she's a friend of mine. I like Kathy a lot. But it was stupid.
It was also, Kathy Griffin did something that was very premeditated. It was like a recorded thing. And it was the only intention that she was doing. It was a photo shoot that was recorded. And there was every sort of opportunity to think twice about it. To go, you know what, that's not a good idea. I'm sure if Bill Maher had a second to think about it, or if he had taped that interview, he probably would have said, We should probably cut that part out.
And apologizing is very uncharacteristic of him.
Yeah, very. Yes. But even the way HBO handles it, like, I get you have to say, hey, but we are repulsed by the fucking overreaction by white people to this word is fake. Mm-hmm. Black people know it's fake. Mm-hmm. The real reaction would be like, you know what? Our talent has freedom. We prefer they don't use that. It's an offensive. The absolute, oh my God, we're shocked. Shut the fuck up, white people, and stop acting like you're so wounded by the word. It's offensive. You don't like it. Just say that. You don't have to go out of your way to pantomime upsetness so black people know you're upset. Black people speak English. You could just say, hey, I found that word offensive. We prefer our talent doesn't say that. And people get it. You don't have to overreact. It's like putting on a play. It's not real. This overreaction by white people to the word.
Like, that's our cue.
It's, yeah, oh my God, we were repulsed and outright. Shut up.
Yeah.
Just say, we don't agree with that type of, we don't like that word. We prefer it not be used on the network by anybody. How about that? I mean, it's simple.
Yeah.
You don't have to, everything is not a fucking pistol to the forehead. My God, let me show everyone how good I am. Every single little fuck up by someone in public life does not have to be an opportunity for the rest of us to virtue signal and show everyone how we're not that way.
Right. I would never do that.
And that's all this shit is. I hope black people know that white people are being complete fakes. I mean, and I'm not saying that white people like that. There's a lot of white people offended by that word.
Yes.
And they're not being fake when they say, hey, I find that word offensive. They're being very genuine. But the overreaction to it, the oh my God, they're putting on a play for you and for other white people, and it's a giant virtue signal, and it's shitty. On Twitter, all the fucking comedians going out of their way, just shut up. We get it. You're not a racist. Got it.
His apology, I come from the outrage. I think this time
he might have felt wrong.
Yeah, I think he regretted it. And I get why he regretted it. He made a mistake. It was definitely a mistake.
He made a mistake. That was it. Look, when you're Bill Maher and you're interviewing a senator, and you riff that, yeah, it's an offensive thing. Somebody is saying he didn't hear the clip until now, though, and he didn't even know that Bill. Yes, Jonathan in Detroit. What's up, buddy?
Hey, can you hear me? Okay.
Yes.
No, it was funny. I did not hear the clip literally until you played it. And I kind of chuckled because I thought it was going to go a different way. I thought he was calling someone that. He called himself that.
Yeah.
That's where I didn't get offended. I didn't, obviously being black, I was indifferent. It was funny because knowing from who it came from, I know what his intent was. And he said it about himself.
Right.
It was like self-deprecating. So he's like, I'm a house nigger. He's like, oh shit. It kind of caught me off guard, like how he spun it. So, I mean, if people are outraged, I think it's fake and it's ridiculous.
Thank you. It's just the chance to pounce. It's almost like if you don't eat dessert for a while because there's no sweets in the house, when you open the refrigerator and you see a cupcake, you're like, I don't even like cupcakes, but fuck it, it's dessert. That's how it is when people fuck up publicly. We don't give a shit about the context. We know the context. We don't care. We purposefully ignore it just so we can tell everybody, look at how, thank you very much for the call, Jonathan. Look at how good I am. Look at how non-racist I am. Shut up. Go fuck yourself. He even said, I'm joking. And when you hear that clip, again, I think his apology was sincere.
Yeah.
I also believed Kathy Griffin's apology. I think that she was being...
I mean, Kathy Griffin lost her mind. She started blaming everybody except herself.
I don't mean the press conference. I mean when she said she was sorry, when she said, I beg your forgiveness. I really believe in that moment she was overwhelmed and she felt bad about it. Like, okay, I fucked up. And it's falling apart here. I really do think in that moment, I watched it, I didn't feel like that was bullshit.
I thought Kathy Griffin was reacting to the reaction. I don't think Kathy Griffin was looking back at her actions and saying, oh, I wish I hadn't done that. I think she was thinking, oh my God, I didn't expect everybody to be this mad at me. I'm upset because people are mad at me.
I don't know. I'm saying that because as a comedian, when you say, I beg your forgiveness, I get it. I beg. That's a really throwing yourself on the sword type of thing. That's not a strong statement of apology. That's like I please forgive me. When you say it like that, I just believed it. In that moment, I believed it.
I think she apologized because she didn't realize their core audience was also going to turn against it.
And this is what happens. And to anyone who lives in this place where
Still hot, though.
Everyone agreeing with you, everyone around you agrees with you and feels the same way, you forget that everyone doesn't feel that way. And when she did this, it's like, look, I don't care about Trump's politics. This has nothing to do with it. It's simply when you show a violent, beheaded image of the sitting U.S. president, it's going to bother people. If you did it to Obama, the rules are different for Obama and for Clinton and for Trump and Bush. The conservatives, if you're in show business, you can destroy, and the liberals, you got to be a little more careful with. You can make fun of them, but if you showed a beheaded image of Hillary Clinton or a fucking Barack Obama, you'd be murdered in show business. If Colbert did that joke about Obama, he probably would have been fired.
You hear that?
What is that?
That's this mic.
Your mic again, Sam? Why?
Yeah, I have no idea.
Hold on. I'm not. Sam's mic is on high.
There it is.
Better.
It's the wiring.
Okay.
It's a shitty mic.
So yeah, there is a double standard. That's nonsense. But then she had that press conference after, and it was almost like when Trump tweeted and Melania tweeted. I didn't have any problem with them addressing it. Like, if you're going to attack Trump that viciously,
right,
and you forget he's not a Obama would not have addressed it. George Bush, no seasoned politician would have addressed that.
No.
A dumb entertainer saying something stupid, fuck him. But Trump comes from a world of entertainment. He doesn't look at himself as so far above them. He sees himself as one of them, and he attacks back. And when they said that, whether or not it was bullshit about Barron seeing it, I don't know. But I do not feel she's being bullied. And I really do like
She's definitely not being bullied.
But I'm saying I don't believe that. I think that there's just backlash, and you can't show a violent image of a sitting U.S. president, regardless of their politics. It's going to cause a problem unless there's a real artistic statement with it. And maybe hers just wasn't strong enough for people.
Well, that's the artistic statement. I don't like him.
Yeah, but again, that's one of those things where the Secret Service has to investigate. It's almost like doing a bomb reference in an airport. We all kind of know. You can attack a U.S. president. You can bash them. You can say whatever you want. But if you're showing violent imagery, it's almost like if you tweeted a picture of yourself with a pistol pointed at the head of Barack Obama or Bush or Clinton or fucking Secret Service would be at your door. Eminem did a violent reference to George Bush, I believe, and there was they did question him because they kind of have to take everyone at least at face value.
Sure.
Kevin in South Carolina. Hi, Kevin. What are you saying?
I kind of feel that it's what she did wasn't a joke; it was a political statement.
Possibly.
And no matter if she apologized for not, you never apologize for a political statement because that is truly how you feel.
Well, I don't know what she was going for, and again, I don't have to know what someone's going for it to be legitimate. I just didn't understand. I just thought it was a violent image, like I don't like this guy. Fuck him. He's beheaded. And the people around you who you're close to, like if I do certain jokes with, you guys or Anthony and my friends, I'm not going to, people are going to be like, great, it's violent and vicious, but we're your friends. But if I do that in a public forum, a lot of people are going to go, what the fuck did you just say? Like
I would do, what are you doing, dude? You did that for us. Why would you do that in public?
So I think that's what the shell shock of what she was feeling was.
She probably had all her assistants being like, oh my God, that is so brave.
And I didn't like that she said a bunch of old white dudes are targeting her because I didn't think that was fair to the tone of people who are mad at her because, like, I wasn't mad. I don't give a fuck. But Chelsea Clinton tweeted that's vile and wrong. Anderson Cooper came out and because again he has to. He's a news guy.
Yes.
CNN and Trump have a very contentious relationship. He has to do that. He's the face of CNN, which is a news network. Whether people think they're fake news or not, they're a legitimate news network. He's the main guy. He's an $11 million. That's his partner.
That's the homie.
They're not comedians. He's not a comedian. He's a news guy who hosts with a comedian. He had to come out and say something. He had to. Thank you very much for the call, Kevin. He had to come out and say something because people are coming after him.
Well, it's also like her audience is not on her side in big numbers.
No, some of them are Jim Carrey and a couple other guys, but the majority of people have been silent.
I heard Jim Carrey's quote too. And Jim Carrey's quote was so annoying because it was exactly what the problem with everything is. It's what we've been talking about. It's one of the reasons why Donald Trump is in the position that he's in. Because Jim Carrey goes, I guess some people, well, I guess you'd say people on the left, but I just call them the sensible people. And it's like that's what we've been talking about. Like just because you think it's right doesn't make it right. I understand you were in the Truman Show, but it doesn't mean that every thought that you have in your head is the best.
It's just the arrogance of people. But again, the conservatives are like that too, and everyone spins it their own way.
Not O'Reilly. No spin
That's
zone.
A good point. Yeah. But it's like it's not about Trump being a Republican. It's literally about if you show a beheading of a fucking sitting U.S. president. That's all. And most politicians will cause a problem.
Yeah.
Will cause a problem. Has zero to do with him being a Republican. I don't give a fuck. He's a Republican. Again, it's all this vagary. That one, there's not much vagary about. I didn't necessarily. I don't want to see her get in trouble because I really like her. But it's almost like that's one of those things. I was surprised at the backlash that she got because people hate him so much.
Not that much, though.
That was one of those things where they're like, whoa, even though we hate this guy's guts, it's still The Office, and you're showing a beheading. It's a fucked up, I
was kind of surprised that CNN fired her from New Year's Eve 6 months before New Year's. Like, give it some time to die down before you...
I wasn't surprised. I'll tell you why. They didn't want to fire her at first. They were sitting on... If anyone else... If that was another This is where they gave it a second to see what the tempo was, the
Yeah.
temperature. They fired her because the people were Don Trump Jr. And again, I don't fault the president's son for tweeting.
No.
Don Trump Jr. should tweet. He's a citizen, and you show a beheading of his father. What is he supposed to do? It's almost like I think she was freaked out because the barrier that normally we feel from criticizing politicians wasn't there. Like, you know how with a professional fighter, you talk shit, and they're professionals. They're not going to hit me. But if you cut Mike Tyson off, he might punch you in the face.
Right.
And that's what that shitty anchor in Toronto felt when he did that rape comment to Mike just to be a dick. And Mike
He's like,
goes,
Mike, you're on live TV.
You know what? Go fuck you. He realized in that moment, oh, I'm smarmy cunt reporter. This is the real Mike Tyson. And that barricade that I thought was here to his fist in my mouth isn't. And
Real
I think
life is happening.
when you realize that real life is happening. So I think that's kind of what happened to her is she forgot, like, oh yeah, this guy can respond. And like Trump or hate him, when he responds, people really react to it, whether it's good or bad.
Yeah, I don't know if it was so much. It was probably him bringing up Barron Trump. She probably didn't see
Yes.
that one coming. But I really think it was because she thought that even if Trump was like, fuck Kathy Griffin, and all the Trump supporters were like, fuck her, I don't think she would have cared about that. I think it was when her audience
Yes.
and her people started turning on her. It was like, okay, you know, we've gone way too far.
All right, let's take a break. We got Kevin Hart is coming in shortly. This was a fun one so far. I guess we'll talk more about this when we come back. And I still want to talk about that N-word controversy because, again, I want one set of rules that are written down. White people can never say it and black people can say it when they want, but who gets into what trouble when? The whole thing drives me fucking crazy. Upcoming gigs. I got Pittsburgh coming up. We're going to Montreal. I'm going to be there doing 2 gigs at the end of July. Sam and I are broadcasting. And I think I'm like the 26th and 27th. I'm doing shows up there. I got Pittsburgh coming up, and I got the Borgata coming up. And Nashville. I can't wait to get down to Nashville end of July.
It's a great city.
Or middle of July. It is a great city.
I love Nashville.
And the Chip Chipperson podcast is up. It's the one we did a few weeks ago. Me, you, Sam. Me, you, Bob Kelly, and Anthony. We interviewed that author. It was a really funny one.
Oh yeah,
that was a very good one. So.
And you see your photo in Kevin Hart's book?
I did.
Yeah.
I did. Yeah.
It's funny.
There's a photo of me, Chappelle, and Keith at the Comedy Cellar table, and Kevin sitting back a little bit away from us.
He talks in his book, and we'll talk about it. But in his book, he talks a lot about the comedy scene and coming up in
and the table, and Keith Robinson in particular, because Keith is the guy who really did
bring him to New York,
brought him to New York, and mentored him, and it's a very, very.
And I didn't realize how close he and Big J were back in Philly.
Yeah, they came up together.
Yes,
but he didn't mention Kurt, but Kurt used to come with them, I believe. I believe Kurt was a whole part of that whole crew. Was Kurt Metzger? Yeah. Unless he was after. But I remember a couple of those guys would come up. And I said I read 150 pages of it on the way over. It's such a good, well-written. It was him and Neil Strauss wrote it together. And it's excellent. There's so much about Kevin's life I had no idea about. It's a great, great fucking book.
Yeah, it's great.
You finish it?
Not all of it.
I'm about 30 pages shy of the ending. I got a bunch of questions.
Did you write questions?
Fucking triple. Yeah, I didn't know so much about this guy's life.
I don't mind the act of writing questions. People always get confused. I just think it's funny when Jim comes in with his prepared, typed, formal, not bullet pointed. It's a funny thing to see.
I do that because it just gets my memory going for the beginning of the book. But I just write them into my iPhone when I'm reading it. And it gives you something.
I hope he comes in and sees your question list and just trashes you for it.
No, he'll appreciate them.
You think so?
Yeah.